Hi everyone, I am really excited to be unboxing. I have not opened it. There was a plastic wrap around this box that I took off, and that's it. I haven't opened it. But I'm really excited to be unboxing this because of a couple things. Now, this deck was sent to me by Jillian Wilde, the creator, for the purpose of review. However, there's a big however here. However, I actually purchased this deck back when she had her first print run. I purchased this deck. So this was a deck that I was going to buy, did buy, paid for it. And then a couple people had gotten their copies of the deck, and apparently there were problems with the print run, which I had so much sympathy for Jillian, because you go through so much to create a deck. There's so much, especially independently published, like you go through so much. It is not just creating the cards, but it's dealing with getting the print and the colors just the way that you want them, and paying for that, or doing your Kickstarter, or however you're going to do, and then the order and the stress of that, and then getting that all in and doing all of the shipping work, which takes so much work. And I only have experience of this, very small, with a small print run with my Lenormand deck, and it's a lot of work. And to get all the way to that point where you have decks that are being shipped out, and finding out that there is a huge problem, it must have been so devastating. And yet I felt completely gracious. I very soon after I saw people starting to get their decks, and I was like, oh great, this, my deck's going to be coming pretty soon. And then got an email where she explained so sweetly and so graciously the value that she had in everybody being so supportive, that decks were arriving damaged, that it was, she must not have been maybe doing the they must have been being shipped perhaps from the publisher. I don't know all of the details there, but I know that there were many problems, and so she had to sort of put a halt on it, and start all over again with trying to get this printed the way that she wanted to, so that money that was involved, my money was refunded, and that she, was going to do the work. And she also really stepped through what she had done, so it wasn't from lack of doing the work beforehand, because she had verification. She had multiple verification processes. She randomly picked decks through and checked them. Anyway, she wrote this really thorough email that described what the problem was, if your deck was damaged, to contact right away, and then she canceled any of the outstanding orders, which mine was one of them, was canceled. And so because I was so impressed with her response to a very difficult situation, I started following her on Instagram and seeing, I think she, making some changes to the cards, and kind of got to walk through, because I hadn't the first time around. I had seen the deck after I think it was pretty much ready to go when I purchased it, so I hadn't been following it, but I have been able to follow the second process. And when she messaged me, whether she could send me a deck for preview, I was like, yes, 100% on board with that, because I really was impressed with how she handled what must have been an extremely frustrating, extremely expensive, and extremely heartbreaking situation. I had so much sympathy for her. So that's being said, so I want to say that, because I was just so impressed. And that's part of the parcel sometimes, especially of independent decks, when you can see people really are behind their product, and really behind the people who are behind their product. Like that's a big deal, and you really get to see sort of that behind that. It makes you really root for that person, and I am definitely rooting for Jillian Wilde. And so I'm so excited to be showing this, because this was a deck that I intended to put my own money behind, and so I'm really rooting for her. I can't wait to open this box. So we can see that it has, and I did not receive, as I said, I did not receive a damaged deck. My order was canceled before I received a deck, so I don't know all of the individual changes. I don't know exactly what the box looked like before or anything like that. So this is just kind of my first time having it in hand. So of course I love the wolves here. The imagery is just beautiful. You have the 4 elements, which, you know, bam. The Naked Heart Tarot by Jillian C. Wilde. And then you have your backing here. So it has very much a feel of like the Wild Unknown or the Fountain Tarot. Obviously Fountain Tarot is magnetic box, but it has that sense of feel where she's kind of all set to go on you know, producing these beautiful decks. Slides off like butter, and inside it says the naked heart holds the secret of the soul. Jillian C. Wilde, just in black and white, just beautifully black, and just that print on the inside. Beautiful box, I will say here. Very chunky. Oh, it's so cute too. Very chunky guidebook. I adore how this looks. Again, has a feel of like the Fountain Tarot, which I love their little guidebook, but it looks like it has, I can't wait to take a look at this. You do have an image with each one of the cards. Looks like you have, oh, see, I love when there's a naked heart. Just line you with your naked heart. Oh, love that. It's got a Celtic cross, has a full moon spread, has a new moon spread. Oh, love it, love it, love it. So definitely has some good old standbys as well as new ones. So I love that. You can see there's like a dark spacer between, so cups, it's going to water, so it has this sort of dark spacer there, and then we go into the cups. So we'll take a bit closer look at that in a minute, but look at the back of it. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, and gorgeous. So there you have that. We do have the ribbon to be able, well, yeah, if it was, I think I'd already pulled it up over the book, but you do have the ribbon to help you get it out. It's a deep box because obviously the book is a chunky one. You do have that. At the base, you have the 4 elements attached to their 4 suits. It's just really beautifully done. And then we have the deck itself, the Naked Heart Tarot. This deck has created and set with the intention of providing healing energy, clarity, guidance, and truth. Each card provides insight into the naked heart, where ego is extinguished and purity of light flows within you. I'm glad we found each other. Much love, Jillian C. Wilde. I mean, it's beautiful. Look at that back. I'm not going to look too close at the cards yet, but look at that back. And this is actually a crystal grid. I have some garnets over here. This is meant to be a workable crystal grid. Oops. Got a little point over here. How awesome is that? So yeah, absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Okay, I had to stop and play with this grid a little more, but that's pretty awesome. I am a huge fan of mini grids. I just messed up this grid, but you know, this is always there. I've got 2 mini grids going on right here, and I love that you can use these cards as such, because think about it. I bet, yep, you have this card here that you can kind of set out and use as that particular grid. Let's do that. Let's just set it right up here. Put these back on. These are garnets, and then the central one is clear quartz. We'll just keep this in place. I love using these garnets for a grid. There we go. We'll just leave that there for the moment. Now I'm going to set this over here for a second so we can zoom in. This is just kind of a postcard that came with it. And let's zoom in on this book. So obviously it's about the size of the tarot cards exactly, so that it fits in the box size-wise. It's got that beautiful front. You've got the back with the elements. You've got the copyright here done unobtrusively and beautifully. And have faith in the universe. After all, it holds all the brightest stars. So I love these kind of touches. She has her story here about how she kind of grew up. Her 4 years before she started the creation of the Naked Heart Tarot was in a bad car accident. She had recurring premonitions weeks before. Progressively over the years, her injuries were continued to worsen, and she was able to not do the things that she liked to do. And so then it goes through where she decides to connect to her passions, studying spirituality and these types of things. And then her art and spirituality came together, obviously, for this beautiful connection. So, it goes on. I'm not going to share her whole thing, but she gives her story here, which is really lovely. Again, every interaction that I've had with this creator has been one that's been really beautiful. You have your concordance here, or your content, here, working with the deck, understanding tarot, about court cards, symbolic keys. There's a lot, looks like a lot is going on here. So we have the first section of working with the deck. Again, this is an introduction, cleansing cards, healing, opening guidance, what to ask. A lot of the sort of the beginner stuff, shuffling and cutting, reverse cards. Reverse card messages have been included with the book if you like to use reverse cards in your reading. So they were designed to be read in the upright position, but the energy of the card can still. So you can do it either way. Basically, it's not a right and wrong way to do it. Just, listen to your intuition. Talking about journaling. So this is a nice, if somebody picks this up as a first deck, you've got a nice little intro there. So then she goes through, and apparently there are 79 cards, so there must be an extra card. She talks about the major arcana. She shows how the breakdown of the first 10 of the physical world, the next are the metaphysical world. She talks about the minor arcana with the aces, all of the numbers. Yes, please. Apparently she has changed the court cards to the children, the youth, the mothers, and the fathers, which is lovely. I don't mind that kind of thing. It doesn't bother me. It's also very neutral, gender neutral, youth, children and youth, and even mothers and fathers can be quite gender neutral. So she talks about the suits, about each one, going through what are the different suits represent, how those might connect to the elements. So then the elemental energy here, lots of information. This is something you could definitely start from scratch with. She starts to talk about the court cards, which a lot of people have difficulties with, right? And she does acknowledge they're traditionally page, knight, queen, and king. She says that they've been altered in this deck to give more insight into their maturity level and energy rather than rank. So we have child, youth, mother, and father. And she said you will find 2 elements on each individual court card. The element, the suit element, and the maturity element level. So that you have child being related to earth, which is traditional, youth with air, mother with water, and father with fire. Those are quite traditional elements of the court. And then, of course, their own element that they are part of. So she even brings that in. She talks about the court card attributes here, the children as helpers, the youth as guides, the mothers as shamans, and the fathers as gurus. She talks about the maturity with the child having that childlike spirit, the youth having that teenager, young adult spirit, the mothers holding the inward, and the fathers holding the outward energy. I mean, look at all this information. Elemental personalities. She goes through the wands for connecting it with the astrological information here. And then she goes to symbolic keys. crystals, gemstones, tarot, reflection, meditation, working with the back of the deck. So she has a whole section here on how the grid works. She talks about the desire stones here, the way stones, I think outside of the deck itself you would have, I'll show you in a second. So you might have, we have this kind of set up here. So let me slide it in. All right, so do I have 6 more? Yes, I do. Of course, yeah. Of course, these are obsidian. I have one obsidian thrown in there incorrectly. So these are garnets here. And then here are 3 desire stones. These garnets are the way stone, and this being the focus stone. Right? Just like that. So I've got obsidian and garnet here, and that kind of represented here on how you might go about doing that. She also gives you some examples of crystals that you could use for the focus. Clear quartz for intention. For desire stones, you might use amethyst or rose quartz or smoky quartz or green adventure. She goes and gives you some ideas on what crystals you might use. And then she goes into the what you most traditionally see, which is the breakdown of the cards. And so she talks about, she has an image of the card. She has the title, what it stands for, I guess, discovery of one's path. And then she has sort of a base kind of information about it, and then the message. And she gives us symbolic keys. Thank you. Thank you. I know some people do not like symbolic keys, but I love symbolic keys. So let's move our now expanded grid over here, because that's pretty awesome, and I'm going to keep it over there for the moment, just as is. And you can do grids with all kinds of things. Now that I've cleared that off, this is literally just a little piece of that you can pick up. I had picked some of these up at Home Depot for a project that I was going to try to do. And I thought, oh, these are just nice little things. And I put little grids on here. I also have some grid on a mirror that I use all the time as well. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the mini grid. In fact, this could probably, I'm going to make a mess, but you know, we can make messes, that's okay. I can probably just transfer that onto there so that once I'm done, I can slide it over next to my, where I keep this, and it will fit beautifully. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. So stuff like that is pretty awesome. Is it necessary? No. Is it awesome? Yes. So of course she goes through and does this for each of the major arcana. Let's just take a quick peek. When you get to the minor arcana, she gives you a basic breakdown. This is fire, this is the element, it's fire energy, spiritual energy, true will, it's transformation and personal power, gives you the astrological signs it's associated with. Are your desires and craving bursting from beneath your skin? Cultivate personal power and your desire will rise from within. So it has the same sort of setup here. How we get like an introducing. We are introduced to this Ace of Wands, the message, additional meaning, like keywords, and then a reverse meaning for the minors. Excuse me. Goes all the way through, and then we have our spreads, which we talked about. A card of the day, a past, present, and future, a full moon reading, which I love, a Celtic cross. I grew up. That's all I did for 9 years was a Celtic cross. This one we'll definitely try this one because I love it when they're made directly for the deck. This is the Naked Heart spread, and then a dedication acknowledgement, and that is a wonderful chunky little book of, I feel like, again, this is, somebody could pick this deck up for the first time and have everything that you need in a little setup. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, so while we're here and zoomed in, let's go ahead. As we've seen the crystal grid here, but just in terms of a backing, it's gorgeous. Like, even if that wasn't a working grid, I'm sold on that particular backing. Now, I will say that one of the reasons I almost didn't purchase this deck was because of this particular card. Not because it's not beautiful. It is beautiful. I've never been a huge fan of unicorns, which I know is really strange. How can you not be a fan of unicorns? I'm not opposed to unicorns. I've always loved unicorns. I loved when you look in the Bible, I was, of course, raised Christian, and I love that kind of thing is mentioned, and you think, okay, where have the unicorns gone? And I was always fascinated with the idea of unicorns. But imagery wise, I'm just not a person who is attracted to unicorns. But it's gorgeous, and I love the feathers here. So let's just read this a text so you can get an idea. So we have Fool. It's the number 0. The kind of almost like a statement or title is discovery of one's path. The ethereal unicorn is born into this world with purity of heart, which is so true. I mean, unicorns are associated with purity. Like you, it's filled with its unique magic. The unicorn's horn is pointing towards a waning moon, representing a time of completion. The unicorn stands to its right, representing the beginning phases of its journey as it merges with its path. Suspended under whimsical planets of lessons, the journey begins. The message is, the Fool represents the power of unicorn spirit, bringing unlimited potential into your life as you venture into the world of the unknown with childlike energy. With a soul full of wonderment, inspiring a journey of enthusiasm and awaiting dreams, this is the start of something new. You see everything with fresh eyes and purity of heart. With limitless potential, you are led by curiosity and innate instinct. Your heart is wide open and beaming with light. You wander your path one step at a time with the heart of a pure and gentle spirit. You look upon the world with innocent eyes and heart, venturing out with all that you need, a curious mind, an open heart, and the desire to experience something new. Your spirit is free and lightness leads your way. You are porous and absorb the light in all its love. Everything appears as it is, without shadows of illusion cast upon it. Know your internal magic is your compass, and universal love supports your journey. So that's the basic text. And then we have additional meanings of freedom, new beginnings, fresh start, new perspective, unlimited potential, enthusiasm. What we often come to think of with the Fool card. Reverse meaning stuck, indecision, foolish choices, acting like a fool, and being naive. The symbolic keys she mentions the circling planets are the lessons that need to be learned. The unicorn, purity of spirit and childlike enthusiasm. The path itself is the beginning of a new journey. The waning moon is a new journey that follows a path to completion. Connecting with this card with gemstone could be air. The element is air, and so green tourmaline, a crystal that connects you to divine truth, joy, and happiness, and helps alleviate fear. And a reflection or a question you might use in a journal, perhaps. How can you best follow your heart and trust that the universe will guide and protect you along your journey? So that's a lot of information in a little book. And how sweet is that? Because you can see the path here to the journey. There is definitely a sense of childlike wonder about this, and I think it's very sweet and goes with that energy, I think, beautifully. So here we have the Magician, which is gorgeous and sort of like, whoa, what's going on here? This is the conduit between the universe and Earth, is what she calls this. She talks about the alchemy symbol being Mercury, is believed to be one of 3 elements that helps to create gold. I'm assuming that's this right here. The eye has the as above, the bones are so below. The infinity symbol is signifying infinite possibilities. Of course, you have all of the elements there. It's ruled by Mercury. The gemstone could be a tiger's eye, and so on and so forth. Really fantastic information there about how you would see this. And I love that the cup has like a wave here. We have the sword has a feather hilt, the wand, and then we have the pentacle here. Really gorgeous. I wonder if that's the case on the, where we saw here. Yeah, so on the back, so the wand has the feather, that's how they are. That's really cool. I love that sword. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm not obviously going to try to do that for each thing, so we'll just try, I'll try to be fast. But here we have the beautiful owl for the high priestess, the veil between 2 minds. I love the integration between female and male symbols. The hand of Hansa, providing protection, the 3 moons, the owl, the ruling planet of the moon, and so on and so forth. And it's just gorgeous. Interesting. I have a bit of a creeped out factor over things that have weird heads like this, where you have like bodies and then weird branches, or like there's some decks that have like a fox with a you know, a sunflower head. Those kinds of things in general creep me out, but it does look very empressy. It does look very empressy and very Earth Mother, and very, there's a powerful feeling around this card. The branches being the connection to life force, the pregnant belly, the crown as the mother of all creation. Does she talk about these symbols here? Yeah, I don't see. I wonder if these are supposed to mean anything. I might have to message her. I would be curious if those mean something. I'm guessing that they do. Oh, look at the Sky Father. So we have the Earth Mother and the Sky Father. That's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, I quite like that. A cosmic long-bearded man with years of wisdom and knowledge. Beard for wisdom and knowledge, the galaxies providing protection over universal things, the crown of earned leadership, the alchemy symbol of life, and then we also, of course, have the constellation of Aries. So, and this is associated with carnelian. That's pretty cool. Here we have the sage for what would have been the Hierophant, the earthly messenger of spiritual knowledge and advice. Of course, we have a plant growing here. We have a book. We have the Eye of Horus for guidance. We have 3 stars for wisdom of the 3 worlds. We have the plant of growing knowledge, and it's associated with Taurus that we have right here. I wonder if this is a sign. I wonder. No. Yeah, so far this is the only thing I have. I'm going to leave out because I have a question about that. I love, see, we have the moon set here. We can definitely see what that's connected to in terms of the astrological. So yeah, very, very, very interesting. Lots of information without it looking actually overly busy or anything. So here we have next then the Lovers associated with air. We have the beautiful eagles balanced perfectly on a branch, entranced and focused on each other's energy. Spiritual communication and connection with the psyche with the air symbol. The bald eagle is an animal mates for life and are very territorial of what belongs to them. Of course, has its set gemstone with Lenormand used to attract love into your life. It's a beautiful card. And we can see Gemini here. We have the Chariot with a two-headed Pegasus. Pulled in two directions. To be victorious, energy must be channeled and harmonized so that it has one clear path forward. I like that. We have the stars above for unwavering faith. We have the wings, the ability to take flight and rise over obstacles. We have Cancer as the association there. It's really beautiful. We have strength with the winged griffin. I would suppose this would be a griffin. The wild beast. Yes, griffin signifies the blending of two creatures, the wild and the ferocious lion and the majestic and serene eagle. The amalgamation of the two signifies strength and wisdom that come from within. Works really well. We have Leo. It's beautiful. Ah. Yes to the Hermit, yes to the Hermit, yes to the Hermit. Peace, solitude, and illumination within. The illuminated turtle moves into its shell where it finds inner solitude. That is so sweet. I love it. Six-pointed star of wisdom. We have Virgo inside of that. We have the growing plants here. Connection to inner and the outer world. The turtle. It's the owl for wisdom. It's just really beautiful. I love that. The key that you see traditionally in a hermit card. Yes and yes and yes. Here we have a very beautiful Wheel of Fortune. I am generally, my least favorite card of the deck artwork wise is usually the Wheel of Fortune. This is pretty awesome looking. We have the astrological signs of Aquarius, Scorpius, Taurus, and Leo, representing stability within movement. We have alchemical symbols for salt, mercury, water, and sulfur, which are a blend of the four elements and represent the Holy Trinity of the universe. Inside here, we have the lines and wheels in the arrow for the 8 Sabbats of the year. We have the angel wings and celestial stars for connecting us to universal energy, and the ruling planet of Jupiter. I actually quite like that Wheel of Fortune. Yes to justice. Yes to justice. That's beautiful. I love the stars inside of there. I love the sword. I love the leaf. I love the Libra. It's really beautiful. Double-edged sword. Loss of something to gain something. Fairness and victory with the laurel wreaths, the balance of the scales. The Libra, obviously. Gorgeous. I do love a good bat hangman. I think it works. If you're going to do an animal deck, I think it just works. So we have the bat gingerly hanging in suspension, the stars and the ray of light, separation from ego so one can rise to a higher level of consciousness. The elemental sign of water is associated here. Love the death card. Love the moon cycles. Love the skeletal hand and the butterfly and the white rose and the whole thing. The whole 13 going through a full cycle, full phase is associated with Scorpio. We have the alchemical symbol of death. We have the butterfly for transformation. Yes, that is gorgeous. Temperance is beautiful. Has a justicey feel. I love the fire and the water that you often see. I love the fire and the water symbols even within the balance here. This is really gorgeous. The alchemy, water and fire. The crown, full-bloomed roses for earned mastery over skill. The ray of lights for expanded consciousness. And of course, it is associated with Sagittarius. That's really gorgeous. Oh, wow, that's beautiful. Half man, half goat, reaches out, grabbing for desires to fill its wants. Half goat, half man, Pan symbolizes persuasion and temptation. Inverted pentacle pointing downward, indicating a time when it's important to face and challenge your dark side. The horns get lighter as they stretch towards the divine. The arms reaching out and needing more and submitting to desires. And of course it is associated with Capricorn. It's pretty cool. Powerful, powerful tower. I love the waves here. I love that it's a tree. Of course you have your traditional lightning. Flash of truth, the tree, strength and reliability, destruction and new growth that can come out of that. And it is associated with Mars. The star card, again, it's so beautiful and clean, associated with Aquarius. We have this being associated with chakras and aligning your chakras. The Trinity of Stars for mind, for your hopes, body, dreams, spirit, wishes. The star itself is the guiding light, associated with Aquarius. It's really beautiful. Of course, there's nothing for me not to love about this moon card. It's got a gorgeous wolf here for innate wildness. It has the alchemical symbol for water, surrendering and going with the flow. It has the gender female association, and it is of course associated with Pisces. And of course you do have the moon symbols here. So that's gorgeous. I love how it's looking directly out. This is beautiful with the scarab beetle. No naked babies. No naked babies. The wings spread with expansion of joy, the gender symbol as masculine. The scarab beetle for radiating solar energy. Of course, we have the sun, and we have the symbol for the sun astrologically. That's really gorgeous. That's also really gorgeous. Butterflies. You know, with the eyes, you have a little bit of feeling of, not in all in the same way, so I'm not saying it's a ripoff, but you do have a little feeling of the, oh, I'm going to have to look up what the name of it is because I always get it wrong, but that's always got 3 eyes in it. Here we have the butterfly broadening its wings, judgment. We have transformation with the butterfly. I mean, what else do you need besides this idea of transformation? The universe with the bee is so gorgeous. Everything coming together and working together. We have the 4 alchemical symbols here of the 4 elements. We have the mandala as a symbol of the universe. We have the bee as everything that connects us together, as well as they say overcoming obstacles. That's really gorgeous. And it has, of course, Saturn as the ruling planet. Then we have the extra card here, which is the naked heart. So it says, a naked heart blooming in its beat. It is connected to the Philosopher's Stone, symbolizing the heart in perfect alignment with the cosmos, higher self, and physical form. A Luna moth flies up towards the light of the moon and out of the darkness, signifying trusting in one's truth and purpose. The message here is that being in alignment with your higher self and your soul purpose. Your path will not be always easy, but it will feel right if you're on your right path. Philosopher's Stone, the connection to the heart, and the Luna Moth for transformation. That's actually a beautiful extra card. So that brings us to the minors, and I will go quicker. I just wanted to kind of sit with those for a little bit. So let me put the book down now so we can go a little bit quicker. Let me pull these out of the way. Okay, so here we have the Ace of Wands, which is gorgeous with the tiger. The Two of Wands with the almost like it's the magic ball. You're kind of seeing your path forward. The Three of Wands, everything sort of in alignment, and that sun coming through to manifest that. Certainly a sense of growth here. The Four of Wands, I would say these are pippish with a Rider-Waite-Smith feel to the pips in a way. I think that I think in her dedication she does acknowledge Pamela Colin Smith for her visual inspiration of the Rider-Waite and A.E. Waite for his insight. So I would say that this is probably somewhat based on the Rider-Waite-Smith, but I love that it's pippish so far. So Four of Wands. The Five of Wands is gorgeous. I love this. The Six of Wands, which would be Triumph with the horse head. Ooh, the Seven of Wands, holding your ground. Doesn't always mean sunshines and roses. You got to stand strong. The Eight of Wands, yeah, this feels very Rider-Waite-Smith with the swiftness here. The Nine of Wands, so not one animal in the suit, but obviously multi-animals. The poor camel, no, he can do it. He's one foot in front of the other. He's got the strength and endurance to be able to manage this. And then the Child of Wands is a gorgeous fox. I'm just going to see what they're doing here. Oh, it's all foxes. Ah. So the quartz then holds true to the animal. So we have the Child of Wands, the Youth of Wands, the Mother of Wands, and the Father of Wands also having the lizard. That's gorgeous. Look at how gorgeous that Ace of Cups is. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And let me point this out real quick. I wanted to point out, I wanted to take one, I like to keep the aces back to see them all together. Two, I wanted to point out that you can see with the court cards, let me pull them all up here, that we have underneath is sort of the court element. So the youth or the page is associated with earth, but this is earth of fire. This is air of fire. This is water of fire, and this is fire of fire. So I love that she's got that right on the court cards. Beautiful, beautiful court cards. So that takes us to this stunning Ace of Cups. Oh, I love the mix of color and black and white line art. The Two of Cups, that heart is actually connecting together. The Three of Cups, I think this is one that was redrawn if I remember correctly, but the Three of Cups with the three dolphins. The Four of Cups with the adorable panda bear. I like this because I think it's somewhat Rider-Waite-Smith with the one cup's a little bit off to the side, but you don't have to read this in any way. You know, I should look and see. Let's take this one. Does she associate the individual animals? So let's take a look. So I'm going to go back here to the Four of Cups. The panda bear sits leaning against one tree cup and disengaged from the other three. Yep, so definitely along the line of Rider-Waite-Smith with the meanings of boredom and disengagement. But I wouldn't have to see that. To me, that bear looks very content. The panda bear does. The Four of Cups for me is stability of emotions, and that is certainly one that I can read that way, and it doesn't change anything. She doesn't seem to state, why a particular animal was used for it. That's what I was checking for. Obviously, the three dolphins make sense in the Three of Cups. There's that sense of playfulness. There is that sense of community there. I do like that she didn't feel like you can only use like water animals for the cups. Here is the beautiful raven. So Five of Cups. The cups are fallen over. Disruption, that works for me. The blue heart. The Six of Cups, things starting to stabilize and hope comes back. And also it ties us back to the childlike wonder of the Fool card. So that works really beautifully. Seven, is your head in the clouds? That's adorable. Okay, let's just say it. That's cute. Making sure that your head's not in the clouds. You want to have dreams, but you don't want to have your head up in the clouds with illusions that are withdrawing your focus on what it should be. The bear, 8 of Cups, I love. I don't like cups falling over in my 8 of Cups, but that's really gorgeous. That's a gorgeous bear. That is so beautiful. Look at that 9 of Cups. What does she say here? Dreams come true. So she's got little, like, embracing the unknown on this card. I really do like, so I have to go through them all. Lost in thought, disillusion of spirit. So she's got these nice little things that I quite like. So the 9 of Cups, for that she has dreams come true, everything's in alignment. For the 10 of Cups, these beautiful crystals for emotional wisdom and harmony. And then whales for the cups. Yes, please. Yes, please. The youth, child of cups, the youth of cups, full of energy there. The mother of cups with the beautiful starfish as well. And then, and also Pisces here. And the king of cups looks very masterful, and like almost looks like it's going to breach, and that strength to be able to breach. Now, did the suit of the, let me look at the court cards real quick. Child, yes. So the father and mother of the fire suit also had the astrological symbols on the father and the mother, as well as this one. So that's pretty cool. This is really gorgeous. These whales are stunning. Okay. Oops, did I'm messing things up because I like to keep aces out for a minute. Okay. Oh, this is exciting deck. Here we have the Ace of Swords. Again, love the feathers association. Reminder, right? Reminder that this is about the suit of the mind and air and thought. So they could almost be pens instead of swords. Anchor. The 2 of Swords. We need to have water and air and have those in balance so that you can move forward. But this is sort of, you're stuck. You're anchored down until you bring those into balance. This is beautiful. You know, this is the traditional 3 of Swords that you see in Rider-Waite-Smith, but it also came from the Solabusca. I like that there's nothing bloody here. We do have the sense of a rib cage, that kind of thing, but learning and growth, and which this card means for me is growth, growth and learning, mental growth, that comes from hard experiences. Heart, not hard. So it could be positive hard experiences. It could be difficult hard experiences. But this works as somebody who doesn't read with traditional meanings. This works really well for me. I do read with traditional meanings, I would say, but not so much Rider-Waite-Smith traditional meanings. Here we have the 4 of Swords with this gorgeous, I don't know if this is a cat, a black cat, or let's take a look. This is, yeah, a black cat rests under 3 swords and above 1, showing it has overcome many obstacles. Now it is time to rest and recharge. We have the shark for the 5 of Swords, disruption of the mind. I would say a shark would disrupt my mind. Beautiful. Gorgeous rainbow color stripe along the 6 of Swords for things moving to a better space, reharmonizing the mind energy. That's gorgeous. The raccoon with the 7 of Swords are known as little thieves. This still works for how I read the swords, which is that we don't know what's going on. That raccoon might need those swords. But that's cute. The beautiful 8 of Swords. You have that sort of briar rose feel. Even in sense of stability and structure that the 8 of the mind can mean for me. This still works really gorgeous. The 9 of Swords, we have, again, a lot of energy going on in the mind. For me, a lot of active energy here. They have this as irrational thinking, very much the energy of, but for me, it works for, okay, there's energy bouncing all over the place. So it's pippish enough to work for me if you don't read Rider-Waite-Smith, but you have the energy of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Sadly, I wish that I had gone all the way, although these swords are not stuck into the rat. It's still very Ten of Swords, but at least it's not a bloody mess here, right? The rat lies on its side as 10 swords are driven down from above, piercing its spirit and hinting that an end is near. So we certainly have the hint of an end is near. The rat, while lying down, doesn't look entirely dead. It's come to full rest. With I can roll there. I can roll here better than I can the 10 of Swords in the Wild Unknown, which is a deck that I love and use, but that 10 of Swords drives me insane. And so this I can work with. Love this Child of Swords. Oh, with the Black Panther, the beautiful Youth of Swords looks very energetic. Now this does have a sign in the Knight. I don't believe the other Knights have it, but I could be wrong. Maybe I just didn't use. Oh no, the Youth does. Does the Child? No, because I think it's just the energy of that. Let me check. Can I get to the foxes? Probably not. I've got them all whopper jawed now, so I don't think I'll be able to get there. But anyways, we do have that there. The gorgeous Mother of Swords with all of the feathers and the butterflies here, and Libra. This is one of my significator cards, and I love the Father and the Mother here. I love the Father and the Mother here facing each other. That's gorgeous. Oh, I love this Ace of Pentacles. Gorgeous. Two of Pentacles. Balance time, balance your resources, balance your energy, balance your time. I love this Three of Pentacles. That's awesome. Four of Pentacles. Now see, I can do this. This is another card that very often is not one of my favorites, just because it's that kind of idea of greediness, and I don't see this. This is a nut. This is a nut. This is a squirrel who is gathering up resources for the winter. That's how I would see the Four of coins. Not that it's in a negative greedy sense, but this is not a time for putting out. This is a time for bringing in. So that works perfect for me. The Five of Pentacles, so interesting, right? We have this idea. For me, the fives are disruptive, so disruption to the pentacles. So we have a broken diamond here, a broken set of pearls. Beautiful Six of Pentacles. This idea of harmonizing, balancing, knowing what to do with your resources. And this gorgeous bait. I always have betta fish. I always have one. And so it's beautiful. And I will say that there is this energy of flow and movement with the Six of Pentacles, right? So your movement of your resources. So that works gorgeous. Love the Seven of Pentacles. Love that. Eight of Pentacles. Working hard. He's so cute. Can we just not look at that chunky face? Look, if Isabel was a beaver, I think that's what she'd look like. Love the flamingo for the Nine of Pentacles. Why? For no particular reason other than it looks very elegant. It looks, has that sense, you always see this beautiful, elegant woman. So we have that sense of elegance and luxury that just looks like. And look at the Ten of Pentacles. Their memories are long. It's going off, right? It's your resources that are perpetuating into a legacy. And then we have, I suppose, maybe these are going to be cows. Oh, buffalo. Buffalo. So we have the Child. I've been getting a lot of buffalo energy of late. the Child and the Youth of Pentacles, and then the gorgeous Mother and Father, again facing each other. I absolutely love the court cards in this deck. Really, I love everything about this deck. It's really beautiful. It's a pippish deck that has enough for people who read Rider-Waite-Smith, but is workable for those of us who don't read Rider-Waite-Smith. This is my only maybe iffier one, just because I get creeped out about things like this, but it's still really cool. Has a very goddess energy feel to it, which the card is associated with. And so I can deal with that. I'm just curious about these two things. That's the only question I have there. And I just picked up all the aces, even though I had wanted to show them all together because I like seeing the aces. Nope. Aces up here. So here are all the aces together. Aces are important. They embody their suit. The potential of driving fire force, right? The potential of transformation and thought. The potential of the stick-to-itness of the tentacles of the octo. I just love that painting. It looks gorgeous. The gorgeous deer and horns here for the pentacles. That's beautiful. I mean, that's gorgeous. Yep. I'm very enthusiastic about this deck. I apologize because I know that that's hard on people, because I get excited about a deck. So then they get excited about the deck. Maybe not because they like the deck, but because I'm excited about the deck. But I'm sorry, this one does excite me. There's not any people in it. Cardstock feels amazing. It's got a matte, silky matte feel to it. Does not stick at all. I don't think I will probably edge this, although I often edge black backed decks in black. I don't know that there's a lot of good use of white space here, and I don't know if I want to have that thin black line that you usually get if you edge a deck. So I actually think this one's going to be left as it is. I feel like if you like the Wild Unknown, or even if you like the Pagan Otherworlds, although that has people in it. But that style deck where you have pippish cards, but not, there are still hints and clues about the meaning of the card, that this is a deck that you would love. If you don't like people in decks, this would also be a deck you would love. That shuffles beautifully. It riffle shuffles like a dream. Let's do the Naked Heart spread to test that one out. So this spread is intended to align with your naked heart, your heart in its purest state. When your heart is open and trusting, you are in divine connection with your higher self. Your higher self is a higher version of you that's always connected to spirit. When you are connected to your higher self, you are deeply aligned with the divine love, light, and purpose. You are flowing into your own magnificent energy field. So it's going to be basically a 4 cross, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th underneath. So I will say it feels like it could use a little bit of a break-in where things kind of chunk together. That is something that will break in. Oh, I just ruined my split. That is something that will break in as you use your deck. I've had other decks with good cardstock that do that, and that breaks in. It also is kind of one of those things with sometimes with beautiful matte cardstock. But it riffle shuffles gorgeous. Like, you get a really nice mix. I know this is going to horrify people. I riffle shuffle all of my decks, whatever it may, but you see what I mean. Why though? Especially in newer decks, sometimes you get a bit more chunking. Whereas a riffle shuffle, as you saw, just gets in there and gets it done. Okay, so let's see how this is done here. I had to put it down because I can't shuffle with one hand. Okay, go back here. Here we go. So the first card is desire, what your higher self desires most in this moment. Oh, and it's the beautiful Nine of Cups, which is that sense of wish fulfillment. It's gaining what it is that your desires of your heart. What is your wish? Which I think if you're doing this for yourself, you know what your wish is. I know what my wish is. The second card is a subconscious block that might be interfering. Here is the devil here. So for me, the devil is very much about the abdication of power. If you are giving over your power, and not just to people, but in situations and ways in which there is an area you are giving away your power and it's draining your power, this is going to not help for your desires to be brought. I know exactly what this stands for myself. That we're also with all the hands, you think of that idea of grasping. If you're grasping too much, it's sometimes hard to gain what it is that you want. The third card is a conscious fear. This is a subconscious block. The conscious fear about trusting the process. We have the Child of Pentacles. Am I going to learn what I need to learn? Right? Am I going to ground myself well enough so that I can get the desires of my heart, so that I can accomplish what it is that I'm trying to accomplish? The fourth card is how can you connect to your natural talents? And here we have the Sky Father. This is about balance and organization and structure. Owning, instead of giving away your power, residing in and sitting in your own power. That's really powerful. And then finally, trust. What do you need to do in order to trust the space or the place that you're in and how to move forward? Is the Eight of Cups. Just go. Trust the journey and move forward. It's not a time for standing still. It's like ground yourself in your power and move forward. That's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. So there you go. Again, I apologize. This deck does excite me. And so I have definitely been called out on the fact that when I get excited, people get things, might want a deck, not maybe because it's a deck for them, but because I'm so excited about it. All I can do is show you decks, right? If I'm excited about it, it's because this resonates with me. It has Pippish deck minors, which I love. The traditional cards that I have a problem with, I can work with. And I can find a way to work with. There's no people, which I do love having decks that don't have people in it. It's animal based, which is something that I really love using. It has a lot of alchemical and astrological correspondences, which I don't use a ton, but I do like to see them, and I feel like they're very unobtrusive and they blend in beautifully. It makes use of white space in a beautiful way that I actually quite love. So this is a deck that I would get excited about. Again, it is a deck that I purchased the first time around, even though this particular version of this was sent to me. So so clearly this is a deck I'm going to be thrilled about and excited about. And so I hope that, take into account what are your likes, what are your dislikes, what works for you, what resonates with you in making your decisions. But this is absolutely beautiful. And I hope that this helps you in figuring out. And if not, again, just enjoy seeing these cards through the eyes of another person. This is one of the things that I love about walkthroughs, whether I buy the deck or I don't buy the deck. When I see a walkthrough, I always have an opportunity to see each card through the eyes of somebody else. And that's a great learning experience. So I hope, if nothing else, you've enjoyed it in that way. And have an absolutely wonderful day.